to a student recently at one of our woke college campuses who said she is required in every class to introduce herself and to give her pronouns. Well, I'm Ted Cruz, and my pronoun is kiss my ass.
Consider this your trigger warning. The following program is strictly satire and is not meant to be taken seriously. So don't get all butthurt, you liberal snowflakes, just because we skewer your sacred cows and expose all your lies and hypocrisy. Truth hurts, and so does satire. So grab a drink, pull up a chair, and enjoy the show.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel, coming at you from Studio B. We have a great show for you today. It is the Free for All Friday. Now listen, if you're in the crowd down below live and you've got a question, comment, statement, what I want you to do is put it up in all caps. That way we can find it easier and pick them out of the array of commentary that's sliding by. We have some incredible things to talk about, but it is Free for All Friday. And oh yes, this Sunday will be the zoo. That's right. On Sunday Night Live, we'll do the zoo. Now, let's get into it. I want to kind of start the show today with some good old-fashioned humor. Now, and you know, humor is such a powerful tool. That is why the left hates it. But it seems to have this place that kind of finds its way between the censorship and their lies. Anyways, a completely solid, foundationally solid female comedian was on stage doing some jokes at a comedy club. At a comedy club. What the heck am I looking at? And guess what? The left went nuts on her, but not in a negative way. They shed some tears because this comedian, she started just blowing jokes off about Dylan Mulvaney, the Bud Light queen. That's right. The Bud Light queen started making jokes about gender identity. Well, the lefties, the commies, the wimps, they were screaming and crying. They got up during the show and stormed out. And the audience decided they were going to laugh directly at them, folks, at their woke, triggered, crybaby, safe space needing tears of pedohood. So, who is this comedian who decided to break out of the mold and say, you know what, no more of you guys. You don't get to tell us what to say and how we can say it and when we can say it. Chrissy Mayer, she's the comedian who understands freedom of speech. And she didn't let the little woke crybabies and scolds. Oh yeah, they scolded her. How dare you? So she just laid into them. Folks, comedy, satire, cynicism is powerful. It uses philosophy, truth, and this little element called humor. And that is very personal to us. It's very subjective, and it's biased against the ignorant and the foolhardy as well. Making fun of idiots and freaks and fruitcakes should not be shunned. It should, I think, be encouraged, right? The sick, woke, pedo fruits, they call it bullying. We call it satire and humor. These same sick, woke pedo fruits, folks, call it bullying, right? Bullying. But they are the bullies. They're the tyrants. They are the terrorists who get people fired from their jobs. They break up families. They destroy business. They burn, they loot, they murder, and they also mass murder. They mass murder children. That's who they are, folks. It's Democrats that murder children. And it's Democrats that want unborn babies to be murdered. And they're proud of it, too. I'm tired of turning the other cheek on the topic of abortion and try not to upset anyone and offend anyone. over the word abortion. They're the ones doing it. They are the ones who want it. They are the ones who commit the act, not me. You can't expect me to go, well, you know, someone just got murdered over there. They got shot. And I'm just going to pretend like it's not happening. It's murder. Something should be done. So when it comes to these lefties, folks, by all means, laugh at them loudly. Laugh at them often and laugh right in their faces. They hate that the most. I went to a comedy show several weeks ago. And the comedians, they didn't care who they offended. And it was hilarious. It was hilarious. They didn't tell a whole lot of right-wing jokes, but there were a few. But there were plenty of woke jokes. And everyone laughed their asses off. It was a great, good time. Now, I did the disclaimer with Ted Cruz because he made it into the news for Free for All Friday. Down on the southern border, things have opened up, right? They've opened up. So Ted Cruz decided he was going to go and go off on a reporter. This is what he said, right? Do you know anything? Because the reporters are saying a bunch of crap. He says, do you know anything? The talking point of the Democrats is, gosh, the problem can't be fixed. This is in reference to the open border policy. And Ted Cruz says, there's one little problem with that. It is an utter and complete lie by saying they can't fix it. He continued, he says, in 2020, the last year of the Trump presidency, we had the lowest rate of illegal immigration in 45 years. Why is that, do you suppose? Could it be the wall, the border wall? Could it be that Trump was in office and so people felt like they could protect their country, that they could feel good about their country? And that's something I remember as a kid, as a child, growing up. After the Jimmy Carter years of the late 70s, we had Reagan's America, Ronald Reagan, President Reagan. And America was proud of itself again, right? Kind of like that whole Make America Great Again feeling. Like the lefties, they were losing. They were backtracking. They were on their heels. They were afraid. They hid who they were, folks. And we're starting to see this turnaround now. Right, we'll get into what little Anderson Cooper of CNN said. They're afraid of Trump. They think Trump is going to be president in 2024. They are very afraid. In fact, the union president of the Teachers Association, they are now telling teachers to erase, and they're telling teachers to hide their social media history. That sounds a little bit odd, don't you think? Right? If what they, the woke a-hole teachers and the woke a-hole antagonists, the protesters, right? If what they say and they post is wrong or isn't wrong, then why hide it? They keep saying they have a right to say whatever they want, and I guess they do. To have any belief system they want, well, unless it's criminal, right? I mean, you can have a belief system, but as soon as you act on it, if it's criminal, you get locked up. So if what you say and promote is not wrong, then why are you now being told to hide it, right? If the freaks and fools are winning because they claim they're winning this social war, this woke war, if they're winning, why should they worry, the teachers, and why should they, the teachers, hide their mentally deranged, perverted, pedo-fetished sicknesses? I think there's going to be an awakening in this country, and people are going to go look and find their teacher. And I'll tell you what they're going to say, and they ought to say, is, where were you for 4 years or 6 years? We can't find it. You disappeared it. It's hidden. It's gone. Right? We need to see what you were posting from 2020 to 2024. I think that's a very fair question. Every teacher should be. You have to show us what you were saying. And if you're promoting child mutilation and gender swap, gender change, gender this and gender that, If you're promoting the rainbow and anything woke, then you're going to lose your job. I think that's what they're afraid of, is losing their job, because they are a bunch of pedo fetished grooming fruitcakes. They know, folks, in my opinion, right now we are at war and the tide is turning on them, against them. And now they want to hide their criminal thoughts and their identities. Are you prepared for this, folks? Right? The fruit salad enema eating freaks, they are on the run. So my words are, keep fighting, patriots. All right, let's see. Who has something to say? I'm looking in here. We got Charles Gentry. And he has this to say: pain is weakness leaving the body. I'm either the weakest or the strongest person I know. Jury is still out. My heart is still beating. On the back of Marine Corps recruit or Marine Corps recruiter t-shirts is that very saying: pain is weakness leaving the body. I like wearing that shirt sometimes, but boy, I tell you what, pain is pain, but you've got to work through it. You've got to keep fighting, folks. It's all very, very difficult out there. Every day, it's very difficult. So, let's go with this. Let's swap over. Another one from Charles Gentry. Folks, if you got something to say, if you got a question, comment, thought, go ahead and put it up in the comment section, and I will be running the questions and comments today. Anyways, Charles says, I would love to see the reactions to the movie Blazing Saddles from today's leftards. Folks, Blazing Saddles has the N-word, Jewish jokes, hick jokes, hillbilly jokes. Funny movies are incredible. I mean, I could be sitting there watching a movie now, and if I'm going to watch a movie, they are old movies, old comedies, because they're funny and they're humorous, and they're not just stupid, right? They're not just stupid. There's actual humor, and they make fun of people. But I was thinking about the movie Kindergarten Cop, where Arnold Schwarzenegger goes up to Oregon to try and catch a bad guy. And he needs the kindergartners to tell him who their daddy is, right? So he says, who is your daddy and what does he do? And one of the kindergartners, right, it's a cop pretending to be a school teacher. One of the kindergartners says, his dad's a gynecologist. And boys have penises and girls have vaginas, right? I bet that line alone sends lefties into tailspin. It's incredible. Yeah, back then, folks, in the 90s, children knew. It's hard to believe that those kids from that movie are now 30 years old. But kids knew that boys have penises and girls have vaginas. What are they going to have to put a warning label on that movie? Caution, kids get it wrong. Don't be triggered. Don't be triggered. In fact, let's go back to the actress. I can't remember her damn name now. But she was out there saying, if anyone tries saying that drag queen shows for children is wrong and criticize it, then I'm going to fuck them up. Charlize Theron, right? She's going to fuck people up. Oh, sure. Anyways, that's what she says, right? Kids always know what a boy is and a girl is, right? All they had to do is look at someone, look at their pants, right? They're taking a shower. They're like, hey, I got one of those. That's what boys have. You got parents like Charlize Theron and other idiots out there trying to confuse their kids. Kids, folks, go from knowing nothing to knowing what they need to get through life by age 18. And that's just to get them out the door and started. Can you imagine where these stupid kids are going to be, the ones that don't even know their own gender, don't even know who they are as a human, don't have any understanding of the law, history, or culture. They have no idea about math because, it's racist. Can you imagine growing up and spending your whole life in fantasy land, not understanding? And then you get put out in the public and you're just like confused because you don't get it. You don't get it because nothing in reality matches the absolute debauchery that you were programmed with in schools. I mean, and it's not just Hollywood actors. It's not. It's not just actors. It's corporations. And tell me, in the questions below, tell me what you think of companies like Nike. Tell me what you think of companies like Coca-Cola or Bud Light. And now Target. We need a huge American boycott of Target stores. Target folks put their wokeness on full display. Right now they have Pride books for children on their shelves. That's right. Children's books on how to be gay are at Target. And rainbow gay pride for everyone, all the way down to and even for babies. As if babies know what gay is or woke is. Unbelievable, folks. These sick bastards are confusing and they are hurting children psychologically. Don't go to their stores. Do not buy anything at all. Good God. Okay. I'm scanning the old comments. And put your questions and comments down below. It is the Free for All Friday, folks. And I tell you, we've got big problems. Are you prepared? Anyways, thank you, Charles, for that. Blazing Saddles, comedy, humor, old-fashioned movies that insult the hell out of people. I love it. In fact, I saw that the movie, it's a Mad World, is on some channel that's available through the internet. And that's a movie from the early 60s, and they go after and pick on everybody. It's pretty funny. Good stuff. It's another one like Blazing Saddles. It has Sid Caesar, who is a favorite in a lot of or many of the Mel Brooks movies. And what am I thinking of in particular? Oh yeah, History of the World. There's an offensive movie. Anyways, moving away from Hollywood entertainment, let's go front and center with this other idea here. What is happening on the street? We have these illegals all over the place out there. All over the place. They're getting shipped everywhere across the country. Meanwhile, cities have less money, less resources, and I don't know where all the money goes that they collect in taxes. I mean, where the heck are they spending all the money? Well, apparently they don't want to put police out there, so people are being assaulted. They're being thrown on subway tracks. They're being punched. They're being beaten on the streets. Crime is going up. So what choice do you have but to defend yourself and protect others? Well, in New York City, it may not be a good idea to do just that. Now, a Marine veteran, and he's 24 years old. He's decorated, right? His name is Daniel Penny. He is now being charged with criminal charges because there is a multiple-time felon. That is someone who is a repeat offender, someone who committed crime after crime and go to jail and get out and come back and commit more violent, felonious crimes. This 24-year-old Marine thought he would protect other people and take this guy down, subdue him. This felon, right, became violent. And he was taken down and subdued by this young veteran Marine. Well, the scumbag died. Kind of like a St. George Floyd. Remember that? Maybe he's St. George Floyd's cousin. St. George Floyd died while being arrested because he died from being on drugs. What about this guy? Why did he die? Just because somebody held him down to the ground, made sure he couldn't assault and beat the shit out of people? Yeah. Well, hang on to that thought right there. There we go. Get your questions down below. I got a good one coming up from Charlonator. So this 24-year-old Marine, he's now being charged with manslaughter. Who knows what they'll find him guilty of? Negligent homicide, third-degree murder, right? All for protecting himself and others when faced with a criminal. Now, New York obviously has a problem. This guy is a multiple-time criminal and a felon at that. Yet he's on the street, right? He's on the street. He's out there hurting people, threatening people. The city leaves him alone, but they'll prosecute and go after someone. Then he turned himself in. You know, he was told he was under arrest, and so he went and turned himself in. When are people going to say, no, you're not going to arrest me? Not today. You go take care of all the problems out there before you come to me and tell me we've got a problem. Right? It really is unconscionable what the government is doing. And this is the same New York district attorney, the Soros-funded scumbag that went after Trump. We can't have people protecting others. Oh, no. No, not at all. All right, so let's do this, folks. Let's take a look and see what Charlanator has to say. And it kind of ties into this story. Remember, everyone needs to be prepared for anything. Severe weather, job loss, continued price increases, inflation, right? Violence, etc. And that really is what being prepared, a prepper, is all about. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, right? We've got to be prepared for what is coming. And you may get more than just one thing, right? You could lose your job and, right, a bunch of other people as well, and then violence on the street. Right? Violence is going to be a big one. But that's why we have such a simple prescription to protect yourself. You don't have to go out and dress up like Rambo. You don't have to spend $20,000 on weapons. You just need to be able to protect yourself. All right, and we've got a great question here coming from Mikey G. He says, this is an analysis of the Israel-Iran situation. Can Patriot missiles really intercept hypersonic missiles? The answer is no, they cannot. No, they can't. Now, Patriot missiles or missile defense systems, and I believe the one that the Israelis have, they call it the Iron Dome. They can't deal with hypersonic. They have a hard time intercepting regular missiles, which travel, what, 600, 700, 800 miles per hour? But a hypersonic missile is traveling thousands of miles an hour, and it can't be tracked fast enough and stopped. I think it's probably a whole lot more than just a programming issue. It has to do with seeing an object, flying to it, and timing the explosion in such a way that it detonates or disables the other missile. Now, if you think about it, if a missile is traveling, let's just say 2,500 or 3,000 miles per hour, one of these hypersonic missiles, and the speed of an explosion itself is 5,500 or 6,000 miles per hour. That's right. An explosion occurs at a speed. That's why they're so loud when something explodes, is because particles are accelerating past the sound barrier. Right. So if the speed of the explosion is very close to the speed of the missile, then it's not going to be able to get to and capture or take out that missile. So let's just say the missile is inbound, right? It's coming inbound, and they send up the Patriot missile to intercept, and it blows up here, and the hypersonic is moving so quickly before that can even explode and reach it, right? The exploding particles, the missile has gone past it and continuing and sailing away from the exploding fireball. It's that fast. That's why intercepting it, they're looking at saying, you know, it's just not going to do it. And yes, Mikey, it's kind of like hitting a bullet with a bullet. It's just too fast, too difficult. Now, I've got a really big, powerful, important, awesome news story here. Kevin McCarthy, shitheel speaker, meathead McCarthy, He decided today he was going to criticize Biden and all of his regime and his ilk. Right? He wants to criticize him over the border. He wants to criticize him over the debt ceiling. He wants to criticize him for all of the errors he's making. But then he acts like he's powerless to do anything about it. And I've been screaming and yelling and complaining and bitching and pissing and moaning this entire time for months and even years, but especially since McCarthy has become Speaker of the House. He acts like he has no power. What an ass. He's the Speaker of the House. He can actually do something other than just complain. So who steps in and fills the gap? None other than actor who is not getting jobs acting because he's conservative, but James Woods has decided to respond directly to Kevin McCarthy and basically speak for all of us here on the Prepared Mind channel, right? He is a great conservative actor. He's a philosopher, in my opinion, and a political satirist and smartass. And he's basically joined the Prepared Mind Network in opinion. He's not a member that I know of, but he certainly has the opinion. And he fired off a tweet today, and then it went viral. This is what he had to say. James Wood had to say about McCarthy. He says, either impeach him or shut up. Just stop talking for the love of God and do something, right? All capitals, do something. Short, sweet, to the point. So I say that you guys have been doing something. Write, call, text, smoke signal, email, carrier pigeon, Pony Express. Get your opinion to your congressman and tell them to use the word impeachment now and stop the lies and stop the bullshit and stop pretending like they're powerless. Republicans have power. McCarthy is failing to use it. He's playing political games instead of protecting the people in our country. We have an enemy in Washington, D.C. We need to fight them with the power we have and fight them with the authority vested in the Republican Party. They need to do something. For the love of God and all that is holy, just do it. I'm glad that tweet, short and sweet, right? That ends with, for the love of God, do something. He says, just stop talking. Do something. Well, Cat Turd, another satirist, and I love the fact that the name of this character on Twitter is Cat Turd. C-A-T-T-U-R-D. Satire, humor, comedy. They don't like it. They don't like that we can make fun of them all while making fun of ourselves. They hate that, folks. They hate it, but people are using humor. And like I said, with one of the story about the comedian, humor is going to cut itself loose. It's tired of holding back. There is so much good material out there that comedians are afraid to touch. So I think it's great. And I think that James Wood needs to keep it up. And I think that players like Cat Turd need to keep it up. All right. Okay, there we go. I just read something from Nikki about barbecue chicken or something like that. Okay, so yeah, James Wood, he kicked some ass today. The comedian kicked some ass today. Trump kicked some ass today, folks. Kicked some ass today. And we've got this in Ohio. That's right, the state. Ohio, the state from whence Jim Jordan, representative Republican of Congress, comes from. But in Ohio, the lawmakers there, the Congress, the Assembly, they have a bill banning biological men from girls and women's sports. I think this is wonderful news. Here come the tears of those snowflakes out there. It'll be burning holes in asphalt like acid drops. These people are sick in the head, folks, And I think it's absolutely fantastic that, yeah, comedians are speaking up. Yeah, celebrities are speaking up. Yes, Trump is fighting back. Yes, congressmen need to stand up, and they're doing it at the state level. But we've got McCarthy doing jack shit. Jack shit. Well, keep supporting them, folks. Keep yelling at them. Patriots, fight on. So, yeah, they're going to ban men, trans men, from playing in girls' and women's sports. How are these trannies in colleges going to compete out of state? Right? Because there's going to be blue states and then there's going to be red states. The blue states are going to decide anyone can be a woman who wants to pretend to be a woman. And the red states are going to be like, well, we're going to do a cup check. You're going to do a cup check, right? If you want to be an athlete, be an athlete. But you don't get to be an athlete trans. And I still think, though, hey, you fruitcakes out there, go cut your nuts off, right? All of you idiots, go take your hormone replacement therapy. Take it. Take yourself out of the gene pool. I think we ought to have a trans league. You bet. Be kind of like, I don't know, midget rodeo. It'll be fun watching them all run around. Idiots. Corey says, hey, greetings from behind enemy lines in Democrat-occupied Arizona. I tell you what, brother, good luck out there in Arizona. Everyone needs to be getting behind one another and kicking some ass. Now, Charlene is referring to rapper Tom McDonald's song that speaks the truth that makes snowflakes melt. You bet. It's going to continue. It's going to continue. So thank you very much for that. Yeah, Tom McDonald, rappers, and he's a weird looking dude anyway, but rappers, celebrities, sports stars are coming out against these fruitcakes like, Brett Favre. Crazy stuff, folks. Now, I promised you the media. Anderson Cooper was whining and sniveling because CNN hosted a town hall meeting with Trump. So Trump went on and the crowd got behind what Trump was saying. The CNN hack that hosted the town hall apparently spent days and even weeks practicing to, this is what cracks me up, practicing to debate. And this can be done by having someone pretend to be Trump and say the Trump things while the person in the, that's trying to debate them, right, has comebacks, switches the subject, keeps things going so Trump can't get any traction. Well, that works just fine with some idiot, right, who's pretending to be Trump. But someone like Trump is pretty dynamic and knows how to deal with these idiots. Anyways, Anderson Cooper told his viewers he understands if they, the viewers, never watch CNN again. So I heard that. I thought, what a bunch of shit. This sycophant, ass-kissing apologist, this little sissy man, and also alleged fruit salad enema lover, Anderson Cooper, he really just told viewers that they are justified not to watch CNN ever again. His channel, the channel that pays his bills, CNN is going to allow one of their hosts, one of their news reporters, one of their, CIA plants, they're going to allow them to tell viewers, I don't care, and it's justified if you go away and never come back. Right? No, he really wasn't telling people to go away. He was actually just kissing their asses and begging that they stay so that they can pay his bills. It's unbelievable. It's incredible what is going on. Unbelievable, folks. Now, what do you think of Anderson Cooper? What do you think of CNN bringing on Trump? Now, I have a good idea why they did that. I think that they wanted Trump on there to raise their viewer number. And yeah, people tuned in to watch him. Trump got more public exposure yet again. And he got exposure to the few people that watch CNN. And I'm sure they were triggered as hell. I bet they turned it off. I'm sure they barely even watched it. Sure of that. But this is the world, folks. CNN is feeling the pinch. They need viewers to get money. They need advertisers to pay their bills. Right? They do. Trump for the win, says Mikey G. You bet. Trump for the win. Trump, I think, a lot of commentators are saying he's got 2024 wrapped up. I'm not so optimistic, right? We thought that in 2020. We thought, how can Biden, who isn't even campaigning, win? Right? How can he do well at all? He's only on the campaign tour 2, maybe 3 days out of the week. He's not campaigning. He's not speaking publicly. Yet he won more votes than anyone in presidential history. Why doesn't the media tout that all the time? Why don't they put that number up on the television and flash it? 91 million, 91 million, 91 million Americans, the most ever voted for President Biden. Because it's not believable. It really isn't. It really isn't. So, let us continue. Let us continue. Who is our good buddy? Well, Elon Musk. That's right. Aren't we supposed to love Elon Musk with Twitter? We got Cat Turd. You got James Woods. Right? They want to give Trump back his Twitter account. Lo and behold, folks, just like every other celebrity, just like every other media mogul, every other Hollywood actor, they find a way to disappoint us. Well, there's a new CEO, a new chief executive officer for Twitter, and it's not Elon Musk. He hired an NBC executive, folks. An NBC executive has been hired to run Twitter. Wow. Guess who she is, folks? Guess what her title is? Guess what she does? Right? The CEO is starting in 6 weeks. This is incredible. I don't want to read that line yet. Her name is Linda Yaccarino. Linda Yaccarino. There's a problem with her, though. There's a problem. He hired her, and she is a complete left-wing zinger. She is good buddies with the World Economic Forum. Right? She's chairman of Comcast, NBC Universal. Yeah. Do you think she's going to be free speech? Her biography, she has states she is an executive chairman of the World Economic Forum. And this is what it says, right? Which brings together globalist, political, corporate, and non-governmental organization elites. That's right. She lists herself as the chairman of the World Economic Forum's task force on future of work, not woke, work, right? Comcast, NBC Universal, a World Economic Forum. She sits on the Media, Entertainment, and Culture Industry Governors Steering Committee of the World Economic Forum, folks. And she wants, which wants to reshape online discourse. In other words, wants to affect free speech. and steer it in a way that is not in your best interest. So they pulled the rug out from under us. We thought Elon Musk was going to be about free speech. And then they bring in this World Economic Forum hack. Thank you, Elon Musk, for hiring that. So once again, folks, who's our good buddies, right? Oh boy. Oh yeah, and by the way, yeah, Tucker Carlson was going to rejoin the media frenzy out here with us by going to Twitter. Very interesting indeed. Where do we go from here? What do you guys want to talk about? Let's see. We got some cooking discussion here. If you've got a question, a thought, a comment, a prediction, something about the future, something about the past, something you really give a shit about. Like this morning, I talked about examples of empire and how it fails, and how it starts with people attacking people and not necessarily the government coming after people. And here we are. Here we are with corporations which are run by radical people coming after us, and governments are like, well, it's not up to us. You guys are doing it to yourselves. Yeah, that's what we got, folks. So we get with Elon Musk and Twitter. We got bait and switch. Well, I got another bait and switch question for you. If Europe does not want Russian energy, what are they going to replace it with? Right? If they need, let's say, 1 million barrels of oil a day, if they need 1 million barrels of oil a day, where are they going to get them? If they get rid of Russian oil. Well, that's exactly I'll get to that one in a second. That's exactly what the European Union is formally proposing, that they ban Russian oil that goes to Germany and Poland. What are they going to replace it with? Or are you just going to tell Poland and tell Germany, you're just not going to get any oil? You guys have to do without. Doesn't that sound a lot like what's going on in the United States of America as well? Well, we don't have the food that you're going to need, so we'll just give you bugs. Or we'll give you fake meat. And for those of you in Europe, if you want fuel, well, too bad. It's going to be very expensive, so you're not going to be able to travel. Hey, there you go. So you can't eat. You can't travel. You can't go to a doctor because you can't trust them anymore. Doesn't it seem like everything in the world is coming apart at the seams? They'll do the same in the United States, folks. They want to raise that gas price. Of course, they know Trump. Trump will do better in the election if gas prices are too high. I think the Biden administration missed their window to raise gas to $10 a gallon. So people won't burn it as much. That's right. They won't burn it as much, and they'll save the world that way. So banning Russian oil in Europe is not about saving the earth. It's not about carbon or carbon credits. It's about trying to punish a country that refuses to be controlled by these left-wing scumbags. And it truly is, folks, the World Economic Forum and all those rich bastards, and there are a lot of them. Isn't it funny, though, how they control so much? They've been controlling us, folks, for at least 150 years through their corporations, from J.P. Morgan up through history, right, up into more modern history. You get the the cartel of bankers out of New York. And then you have the military-industrial complex, right, as things transition at military-industrial complex. And then you just have major corporations, conglomerates coming together, and they want to buy up the world and control it. But they can't get Russia, so they want to try and hurt Russia. Well, Russia and China have already made backroom deals with other OPEC countries. Like the Saudis and most of the Middle East, they don't want to do business with the Americas. Americans and probably Europeans as well. It doesn't mean they're going to stop, but they could cut production and raise the price. The way I see it is we all have so much money we're willing to spend in fuel. And if they double the price and have half the output, they get the same money for half the effort, half the cost. So what does OPEC care if prices go way through the roof? It doesn't hurt them a bit. They're still getting the same dollars. They're just selling half as much. In fact, that's probably beneficial for them. Because if that's the case, then they work half as hard and their resource lasts twice as long, and they get the same money. We spend the same money, we just can only travel half as far. So banning Russian oil, well, Russia will just sell it to China or India or any other country on the planet. Russia, folks, is a huge energy producer for the whole planet. And I don't think the rest of the planet really wants to play this game with America and the European Union, right? And that's what we're getting out of government is games. Game after game after game. Well, just today, and today I just checked, is the 12th. I just looked at the calendar. Today is the 12th of May. And guess what? Illegals are coming to the country. And Karine Jean-Pierre has claimed that there aren't mass releases of illegals in this country. Now, there's video proof that she's lying, but more importantly, I want to ask the question, if there are not mass releases of illegal aliens into America, where are the 5 million people at that have come across the border since Biden took control of the White House? If the government isn't releasing them, where are they keeping them? Where are they holding them at? It's just a big game, folks. They're allowed to lie to us. And it is awful. It is terrible that they do that. It truly is. Good golly, folks. Let's see. And on a free-for-all Friday, I wanted to bring this one up. In Arby's, you know, Arby's, the fast food chain, in Louisiana, a dead human body was found, you know, in an Arby's walk-in freezer in Louisiana. I mean, I sure hope that they weren't using parts off this person to serve as food. But isn't their advertisement, "We have the meats"? I mean, isn't that their marketing slogan? Maybe it should be, "We have the meats and the deceased." Handbook for the recently deceased. Don't end up in an Arby's walk-in freezer. Apparently, if you go in there, you don't check out. And I guess we can expect that's going to be the way it is, folks. This is where we're at right now. And on this Friday afternoon, folks, right, our country's being invaded. There are some people out there resisting it. Ted Cruz is telling the media, you should be ashamed of yourself. But the facts are nobody's really able to do much. I hope, though, that the Texas border force is armed and on site. Now, how many people have died because of this open border policy? Well, Americans have been dying. Have you watched that? Are you aware of that? That Americans die because of these illegal criminals that come over? You've got that. And then children are also being victimized in this because of this stampede to get to America, because of this policy to try and trick the American government. Well, a migrant child died in U.S. custody hours after Title 42 expired. A reporter asked Biden about that, and what was Biden's response? He basically smirked. I mean, Biden at his press conference the other day told all kids like under age 15, come on up and, you know, I'll take you. This guy is a creep and a cretin. Right? People are dying because of his policy, and he doesn't care. I thought we were supposed to do all we could to stop people from dying. Right? If the United States government said, we're not letting you in, you can't come to this country, we're shutting the gates, we're closing the bridges, there's a giant fence up, don't come here, you're not getting in, you'll just die. If people knew that ahead of time, they would stop trying to come over here. It's unbelievable what they're doing to people around the world by trying to lure them here, the way Biden tries luring children to come talk to him. It's unbelievable. It's disgusting. It's horrifying. And there's something else that's going on. Carrie Lake in Arizona, who ran for governor and lost, is continuing to fight. I can't really talk about what is right, what is wrong, what is happening, but the fight continues for this country by people who are committed, and they are very dedicated. And I want to commend them, just as I want to commend you, everyone here on the Prepared Mind channel, sharing the link, the internet address, sharing it, hitting the thumbs up button, making sure you hit the subscribe button. And for everyone who comes to the preparedmind.club and subscribestar.com and pays $2 a month or more, I really want to say thank you for all you do to support us. We have nothing but trouble coming down the pipeline, folks. You need to be prepared. You need to be prepared. You need to understand who the enemy is. Chance favors the prepared mind. That's the slogan. That's the name I came up with for the channel back in 2013. I thought that everyone has kind of a slogan, some way to kind of market themselves. And my mission, my goal this entire time, I've tried to be very clear about, and that is to let people know that things are not great. They're not rosy. And steadily, slowly at times, and other times very quickly, things have gone very bad in this country. Things have gone awry. And here we are. And what are you doing? And what am I doing? Right? I talk to people on a daily basis about being prepared. I talk to as many people as I can about it. A lot of people probably don't care, don't want to know anything. They're happy with their head in their sand or up their ass, and they're displeased with it. Well, I'll tell you what. I don't know how many people I get to wake up every day. I hope you get to wake up just one person a day. Just get them to just red pill someone once a day, and that'll be very satisfying. You'll know that you got people, you know, you've saved lives, you've helped others. That's really what this is all about, is helping others. So I want to thank you for being here. I'm going to sign off because I've got to get ready. It is going to be Mother's Day weekend, and I'm hoping to see my mother. You guys, I love you very much. I appreciate all your efforts. I hope you are well. And again, thank you for supporting this channel. You've got Jolene, you've got Uman, and you've got me here. We are at the controls on a daily basis. But it's a very rewarding job, if you want to call it a job. It's very, very rewarding. And I don't want to stop doing it, and I'm going to keep fighting these scumbags out here in the media, in, well, social media. They're going to keep putting their powerful people in there, just like Twitter now has a World Economic Forum CEO. They're going to keep fighting us. We need to keep fighting back. We truly do need to fight back. Folks, Godspeed. God bless. Semper Fi means always faithful, and chance favors the prepared mind is yours.